All right, class. So, you remember from last week, we already had our audio files here. So we're going to show you how to clean up these audio files and create a digital sample or a sound bite for a newscast. If you want to make music or do a newscast, something like that. So I'm just going to scroll through my audio here and see what one I want to take. Actually, sorry, before we do that, before we do that, our first track, we have two, we're in stereo right now. When you're making a sample, you want it to be one track. So you need to split that to mono. So stereo, we have our two channels as we learned earlier, left and right. We want to split these down to one track. So split stereo to mono. Now we have two individualized tracks and we can just delete one of them. Doesn't matter. Now we have one track to pull our sample from. And so we have full audio in this one track, no left or right separation. So let's hear what we got. Do, do, do. Ooh, I like that last one there. I like this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, Command C, or you can go edit, copy, and I'm going to then paste Command V on a Mac, or you can go edit, paste, and then I'm going to mute this track so we don't hear that anymore. And now all I'm left with is my one sample. Awesome. So here's how we're going to clean this up. First we want to zoom. So we go to the magnifying glass up here, and we want to zoom in on this audio sample. Really see those sound waves. And go back to our selector and scroll back over. That might be a little big. So let's go to this, and let's go Shift. If you hold down the Shift button, it switches. See, let's zoom in, zoom out. So we'll go to there and zoom out. Let's go one more in. Awesome. Now, it's going to go by pretty quick. Play it again. So you hear that little click at the start there? Not my actual. Let's see if we can get one more volume here. That's maxed out. So listen for that click. Right at the So to get rid of that, let's actually zoom in a little bit more. We want to get a nice clean audio file here. This is all white noise. That's mumbling. So we want to take our cursor and select everything before that and delete. I'm actually going to undo that because I didn't quite grab it where I wanted to do it. So we can see that's where our audio file starts. We're quite zoomed in, so I'm going to grab just before it and delete all of that. There we go. So you grab it the right spot. And we're going to do the same to the end because we don't need anything that's after. That's the end of the note we want. The end of the sound we want, whether it's a voice, note, whatever. So yeah, right about there. Let's grab from there on. And boom. Delete. Awesome. So we'll go back to our magnifying glass and we'll zoom back out. And there is our sound wave. Let's listen to that. Now let's zoom out a little more. Start from the beginning, maybe. Good. No more click, right? We're starting right where the vocal starts. There's no background noise, nothing like that. That's a pretty clean audio file. From here, we want to have a slight fade in and slight fade out so that it's smooth. There's going to be no pop. There's no sudden kind of all of a sudden it just starts out of nowhere, which you might think is obvious. However, when you're mixing audio, the slight fade in, slight fade out, it's called a crossfade. We'll get more into those later. Are the best way to do it so that other things are fading out as this is fading in. It makes it seamless. This is more of a sound bite or a sample bite. So instead of that, we want it to be very punctual. So this is a music sample that you could use to layer for harmony in the background. So what you want it to be, it wants to be precise, because when you trigger the sample, it has to start on beat. It can't be spaced before it, because then it's not going to start on beat. So we have to go right on in here. Right on in, and back to select our cursor, and we want to cut that right on beat then. And now we're good to go. And now the fade out, so it doesn't stop abruptly, and there's no clicking. Let's hear that. So you hear the stop of the white noise there. The recording stops, all of a sudden, there's like another little click, there's a change in the sound density. So what we're going to do then here is we'll zoom in again. And that's kind of the trail off right there. That's the trail off of the audio signal. So we're going back to actually we're going to go to this little button right beside our cursor. And this is the fader bar. So what that does is these little blue lines up here and down here are the volume of the audio signal. So you could put in a standard fade out, however that fades out the whole thing. From the start to the finish, it makes it an even fade out. We want it to be strong right at the start and only fade out at the end so we don't get any of the white noise at the end right here. So what you're going to do is place a couple little points just along that blue bar. It automatically goes down to the bottom section as well. If you were to put it down, it would drop the line right down. And actually, that's probably pretty good. And you can drag these points anywhere along you want, right? So you can drag them all around, and it goes from each point. So I want it to be at 0 by the end of the phrase, by the end of the sample. So I want it to be at 0 audio. From there, I'm going to grab this and bring that closer to the end. I don't want to cut off too much of the audio signal. And same thing with this. Yeah, no, make sure you don't compress too much of this. Make sure you don't compress it too much because then there's no audio, so keep it up at the top. Let's keep that there. Let's make this a little more gradual. Boom, and a little more gradual yet. Nice gradual taper. Awesome, now let's hear this. Zoom back out so we can see the full clip. Okay, let's hear that now. There you go. Hear that or don't hear that? You could be even a little closer still. So let's go back in. Let's go right back in here. Let's go back into our fade. And let's really start to bring that down there. Slide out. And slide this back just a bit so it starts a little earlier. And we'll go back and let's actually zoom out again. Cool. And let's hear that. Excellent. There's still some white noise there, but that's because my recording quality was just done through the Mac here. As we talked about earlier, you want to use solid microphones, isolated rooms to get as little white noise as possible in your audio signal. In future lessons, we'll learn how to dial back that white noise in and of itself. But that's the basic editing of the sample. You want to pick one clean take of the exact part you want. You want to make sure that you cut it right at the start of your audio signal so that it starts, if you were to plug that into a piece of music, it starts on beat every time. There's no gaps before the sample starts. And then at the end, you find kind of the end of your audio wave. And you want to cut off just a bit of the end section and then start a nice smooth fade out, a crossfade. If we're going to have a sample after that, we then use a crossfade, which fades the other way. The arc looks like that. And it would start right at the end. And that way it would be a seamless transition into that next sample. But that's for another lesson. This is just how to clean up audio for one sample or one sound bite. All right, you guys try.